This is the birth of Gus the Gnome. And here's his brother. And here's another brother. They're triplets. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for August the 2nd, 2022, vlog number 275, and it is day 881 of COVID. So, what have I been working on? Well, I've shown you this before, but it's now completely finished, and this is my Christmas gnome table runner. Didn't turn out as long as I thought it was going to be. I mean, that's not really a big problem. If I wanted to make one of these again and make it longer, I just add panels to it, and that's easily done because of the way that it's designed. But I think it turned out pretty good. So it's a nice size table topper. Let's call it that instead of a table runner, shall we? And yeah, I think it looked pretty good. So that's another thing in my potential Christmas gift pile, as I call it. And I've started a Halloween project. I've started working on this quilt, as you can see, this pattern from Basic Gray. This was a pattern I bought at the Fort Fat Quarter Shop online and downloaded it. It's a PDF. And these are just some of the pieces. There are a lot of little pieces in this, and this is just the beginning right here of the blocks. There's a lot of half square triangles in there. That's those little blocks that you see down here in the lower part of the screen. And yeah, it's coming along. So that's my work in progress project right now. Okay, so that's what I've been working on. And I've been working on some 3D print things, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But now let's take a look at the YouTube channel of the week. We've all been bugged by scammers, and I have talked about that before, and it's just very, very frustrating. So it's kind of cathartic when you see somebody else who gets the scammers back. And there are many YouTube channels out there that have people who scam the scammers, sort of a thing. But this particular one, and it is a long video, but it's worth watching because not only does he scam the scammer, but it's funny as well. And it just goes to show you how really stupid the scammers can be. So we should never fall prey to their tricks. We are smarter than a scammer, and we got to keep that in mind as long as we do certain things that keep us smarter than the scammer. But anyways, this is worth taking a look at. So here's my review of this particular YouTube video. This week's YouTube channel is one that you might find very cathartic. This gentleman does a whole lot of things with scammers. He tries to beat them at their own game. And in the process of doing so, he actually is quite entertaining. And it feels good to see these phone scammers, these email scammers, getting their own back. If you've never seen this particular YouTube channel, you should check it out. Scammers Don't Want to Empty Gift Cards is the one video that caught my attention, and it's very, very good. It is a long video. It runs 36 minutes long, and you might find parts of it a little bit annoying. But he also has camera footage, and how he got it, I don't know, of inside a scammer's nest, which are usually located in a foreign country somewhere. So I'm not sure how he gets these types of videos on short circuit television, but he does, and that just adds to the whole entertainment value. His YouTube channel is actually called Kit Boga. I think that might be his name. And but the one that I'm linking you to right now is the one that really got me interested in watching this person's videos. It just feels good to see that somebody can beat the scammers at their own game. So if you want something that's a bit cathartic and entertaining, check this out. And you'll find a link for that in the show notes below. There's a link for the Idiot Quilter episode 178, and I called it The Tables Have Been Turned. I got interviewed. That happened on August the 2nd. And that happened with Sean, the guy who sews, or the guy who quilts, the guy who sews. Yeah. And you will find his YouTube channel very much worth watching. Sean and I have become sort of internet friends now, and we've got some things planned in the future. So do check that interview out. And also, So Chatty, episode 70, quilt store shopping trip plans. Yes, we're going on a little trip. We're going to London, Ontario in another couple of weeks. And on So Chatty, I talked about 10 potential quilt stores that we may visit along the way and in the London area. And when I say London, London, Ontario, okay? Not London, England. I wish it was London, England, believe me, but it's not. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's just going to be a couple of nights away, and I am going to buy mass quantities of fabric. Do I need mass quantities? No, I do not, but it makes me happy, and so I'm going to do that. And then I'll have a big haul to show you, but that won't happen for a few weeks yet. Okay, so taking a look outside my window today, and right now it is 8:35 in the morning. I took this a few minutes ago, and yeah, sorry for the glare. We've got the air conditioning running in the house. We don't like to run the air conditioning during the day. I like to open up the doors, you know, the screen doors, if there's any kind of breeze out there, just to air out the house. And we usually turn on the air conditioning for a few hours at night once I go to bed. And then once Walter goes to bed, which is many hours later, he turns it off. He gets cold in the night. I'm the opposite. I'm hot. But anyways, I know some of you are going to say, well, that's not probably the most efficient use of your electricity, you know, because your house is already hot and it takes a lot of energy to cool it back down. Well, it's not on for that long, and we don't bring it down to ice cold, the air conditioner. We just bring it down enough just to remove the humidity out of the air inside the house, and that seems to do for us. But anyways, here's what today is looking like outside. It's a little dull today, so it's a little overcast. However, it is hot, and it's 24 degrees Celsius right now. It looks like the high is going to be 27 degrees, but then of course there's the humidex, so you never know what that brings. And also, when you get really hot days like this too, you do get a haze sometimes. You know, I guess it's the moisture in the air, the humidity, that kind of thing. But you know, I can't complain, because I know we've been complaining a lot right across the world about the heat. But where I live, the heat has not been completely unbearable. So we're lucky about that. And I'm enjoying it. I really am. Because 1 month from now, the middle of September, it could be still kind of warm. It could start getting cold. And then we've got like 6 months of that. So I'm going to enjoy every second of it that I can right now. Okay, so that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. Well, I'm seeing a new trend amongst the medical profession, amongst doctors especially. Walter had some issues a week or so ago, and so he called our family doctor. Well, our family doctor does not see people in person, except in a limited time frame. She now deals with you over the phone. Okay, I get that during COVID. But now we are, you know, most places are moving back to the new normal. And doctors are definitely necessary. And they should have regular office hours, in-person office hours, as far as I'm concerned, because maybe some things can be handled over the phone. But many times you need to see the doctor. They need to see you. And that's the way it's been for a long time, but not anymore. It seems the trend is this: let's do your diagnosis by telephone. And here's the kicker. What they tell you is go to urgent care. Go to the hospital. No, you're my doctor. Just don't be sending me off to urgent care nilly-willy, because right now here in Ontario, we're having a crisis in our healthcare system. I know for those of you that live outside of Canada, you've heard the myths about how great our health system is here in Canada, universal health care, all that kind of stuff. No, 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 no. Our health care is going right down the tubes. Yes, In terms of money, we still don't have to really pay for most things, but you've got to wait. You know, like the doctors don't want to see you. They send you off to the hospital. The hospital doesn't want to see you. You'll sit in emergency for literally days. Some people have been there for days. You think it's the airport. You know how they have you all lined up waiting and cancellation after cancellation. If you basically aren't on a stretcher and you don't have a limb cut off and you're not spurting blood, you'll just sit there and rot. And basically the diagnosis they're going to give you is take 2 aspirins and call me in the morning. That used to be a joke. That's true now. That's very true. That's how our healthcare system has degraded during COVID. There's all kinds of problems. But back to the doctors. The doctors are whining. The medical, whatever you want to call it, associations and everything like that are whining. Not enough frontline workers, not enough nurses. Nurses are leaving the profession. Doctors, not enough doctors. Our government supposedly is trying to do something about that, but it's slow to come, if it ever comes at all. Yes, a lot of the problems are being caused by our government. Our healthcare system needs an infusion of cash, a lot of it, right now, and our government is just sitting on their hiney doing nothing. But doctors are whining as well. Their workload, boo-hoo-hoo, boo-hoo-hoo. Oh yeah, this is what I heard lately. For every hour that they see a patient, it's 2 hours of documentation. Well, first of all, have you ever sat in a doctor's office for more than, or for an hour? Not usually. Yeah, if you don't count the waiting time, okay? Yeah, you may have sat in the waiting room that long. Because, you know, doctors never keep to their appointment schedule either. So you're always sitting there. You know, your appointment's at 8, but you don't see them till 9, kind of a thing. But not counting that, when you're physically in the office with the doctor, they are bang, 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 wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Here you go. Get out. Bye-bye. Next. Okay? Now, I know their jobs are difficult. I know that they're very taxed right now. It's a hard profession. However, let's talk about that. Okay? First of all, nobody has to become a doctor. That is a life choice. 2, when you make a life choice like that, you know exactly what's involved and what you're signing up for. There shouldn't be any surprises. When I signed up to be a teacher, I knew what it was going to involve. And there was even more to it than I expected. But I coped. I learned. I lived with it. I had to. And it's a profession. So doctors, suck it up. Okay? Just because you have umpteen million medical degrees or whatever does not make you smarter than anybody else in another profession. You are not smarter than a teacher. You are not smarter than a lawyer. You're not smarter than a veterinarian or any other profession out there. All of us that are in the professions have had to go to many years of schooling to become the professionals that we are. So suck that up. Second of all, you make a great deal of money. Oh, yes, you do. And they whine about that their hands in our province are tied with OHIP and all that kind of thing. Well, look out in a parking lot and check what an established doctor is driving these days. Check out what they're living in. I'm sorry, you're getting paid big bucks. Do your job. General practitioners now do not want to diagnose anything. They send you off to a specialist. You come in, yep, I've got a pain. You need to be x-rayed. Here's the thing, go get x-rayed. You need an ultrasound. Here's the thing, go get an ultrasound. You need to have that checked out by a chiropractor. Here you go get that checked out. Whatever. They're specialists for everything. General practitioners do nothing. They're just a gatekeeper, basically. They redirect people to the people that's supposed to know things. So why do they have the gall to do medicine and diagnosis by phone? Give me a break. And they talk about their workload. Yeah, suck it up. I have no sympathy. I have absolutely no sympathy for anybody in the medical community. Yes, I know your job is hard. Yes, You were great, especially the nurses during COVID and the whole bit. Yes, I know there's a lot of burnout in that job, but you are not the only profession that has burnout. I am so glad that I'm a retired teacher now, because you want to talk about burnout? Check with teachers over the whole COVID thing. Having to deal with one day kids online, another day kids in class, trying to keep yourself healthy, trying to make sure the kids are safe and things like that. There's pressure there. There's burnout as well. A doctor's job is not any more difficult than any other profession, so suck it up. I'm sorry, I know there's going to be people that are going to send me nasty comments because they know somebody in the healthcare profession and they're going to sing their praises. Yes, I sing their praises too. We needed them. They rose to the occasion. But that was the nurses. That was the hospital staff. That was not the majority of doctors. Okay? They just redirected people to those people, the frontline workers, who had to put up with all of that. So let's get off the pot, shall we, medical community? You are a service. You picked this profession. Live up to your Hippocratic oath. Do your job. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, moving on. New products. What have I bought? Well, let me see up here. This is real exciting as soon as I find it. Let's see here. Just give me a second. I've got it coming up. Okay, where is it? So here we go. I bought screwdrivers. Yeah, isn't that exciting? From Amazon. I bought this set of 4. These are hexagonal. As you can see down here, they show you what the ends look like right there. These are for my 3D printers because, of course, everything on my 3D printer does not take a regular screw. They all have these screws that you need Allen keys for, and everybody knows that Allen keys are the bane of our existence when it comes to putting IKEA furniture together. Well, they're also the bane of existence on most things. I don't understand why they put Allen key screws into things. Have no idea why that is. Because I don't think they're any better than any other kind of screw, but nevertheless they do. And I did have a set of this type of screwdriver before, but they've basically unscrewed themselves. And here's the irony, and these ones have the same thing. If you look up here on the handle, oops, let's go back. You see that little black dot on the silver part? That's actually an Allen key screw that holds the shaft of the screwdriver itself in place. And on the other set I have, those had come loose. And guess what? I did not have the right size Allen key to tighten them up. Go figure, right? Now, if you want to talk about built-in obsolescence. But anyways, I bought this set. They're a little fancier than the ones I had before. I hope they stand up a little better. And they weren't expensive. So yeah, like $17.99 on Amazon. So yeah. So that's the exciting things I bought this week. Aren't you thrilled with all of that? And so that takes me, though, to, speaking of 3D printers, what have I been making? Well, more gnomes, of course. Let me just find my picture here for you of my lovely gnomes. And here we go. These are my gnome angels. Okay, I'm combining 2 worlds. I'm combining my world of 3D printing with my world of machine embroidery. And I made wings. Now, I've got more of these that I just finished since I took this picture. They're in different colors. This is just some of the colors. And these are going to be little novelty Christmas gifts for people. I always like to give the ladies at Ultimate Sewing something every year, so this might be part of the little package I usually put together with them. I think they're kind of cute. Now, someone suggested to me that I should take this design and develop it into a cell phone holder. And I thought, hey, that's a practical print. That might be a great idea. So, as we speak, my printer is working on a prototype of that kind of thing. So I'll see And once I perfect that, I will show that to you as well. But, you know, these are just fun. And this little guy, Gus the Gnome, that's what he's called. I didn't name him. That's what he came named as when I found the model. I've made him in various sizes over time. He's my favorite of the gnomes. He's got a lot of detail in him. And yeah, I think they're just kind of fun, just kind of cute. So that's what I've been up to on my 3D printer. Oh, actually, I'm doing something else too. And I'm going to talk about it more extensively on the Idiot Quilter, but I'm making things for organizing my quilting patterns. But I will save that discussion for tomorrow's Idiot Quilter episode. Okay, so that takes us to Blast from the Past trips. This is February the 21st, 2018. This is our visit to the city of Adelaide in Australia. And this is part 1 of that day.
Okay, so this is our last day in Adelaide, and I just saw this sign as we started out walking this morning. I want you to take a close look at this. Tasty Thai by Meow. Okay, makes me not want to eat there. Okay, so this morning we're traveling up to the north end of Adelaide, and there's some markets and things up there, so we haven't seen that part of town yet. So we're going to do that today, since this is our last day in Adelaide. Tomorrow we're flying out on Virgin Airlines to Perth, where I can only hope that the hotel there has a better internet connection where I can actually upload some videos. Because if you're watching this video, it may be some time since it was made, because I have not had a very decent connection where I can upload stuff to YouTube. So we shall see. This is Festival Park, and it's a lot of it under construction. And this is what they call it, Oval Stadium?
Adelaide Oval.
Adelaide Oval. And there are a bunch of really pesky little flies this morning that keep attacking me.
Yeah, remember last year when we were in Melbourne, or
in Sydney.
Melbourne.
Oh, Melbourne, they've seen a bunch there too. They are quite annoying.
Yeah, they like that.
So they can buzz off. And this is St. Peter's Cathedral. Big church.
Jody took us for the cups and things. Cups, they're beautiful. Okay, so this is from the steps front of St. Peter's Cathedral, looking back into Adelaide City, the downtown core. We're north of that right now. And we're still continuing on our way up north Adelaide. So the shopping area up here.
just saw this. Some of the original children here, but you'll notice they're walking in bare feet and in socks, which is kind of interesting. Yesterday we saw how Australians get their mail. This is just a little side street we came upon, but it's got some interesting looking architecture, old style. Margaret Street is what it's called. Nice tree here with little flowers of some sort. Now here's some example of sort of the old style, but probably
That's
very,
actually a two-story.
yeah, probably very expensive to own something like this. If it is a single family dwelling. And two-story, which are kind of rare in Australia. They tend to go for bungalows. Of course, this is an older place that's been redone, so maybe the older style are 2 stories.
Well, maybe rich style.
Yeah, this is probably quite a pricey property, I would think. Unique looking. And then right alongside the more traditional look, you have the more contemporary look. Just some more of the architecture, and probably these places are probably pricier. This looks like it's probably a pricier side of town. Nice tree line, nice street. People look like they keep up their properties. And then, of course, you sometimes get riffraff in the neighborhood. For example, look ahead. These are all semi-detached, sort of
They were
row
built in
house.
the mid-1880s.
So there's the history of it.
So now we're into another area of North Adelaide that's more commercial.
So what's happened in the past week? Well, we had friends over for dinner last Friday night. We sat out in the patio. We were out there till about midnight, and that was fun. And it was great because these are a couple of people that we know, but we don't know, you know, that kind of thing. So they're being bumped up from acquaintances to friends. And it was very nice. It was great to get to know them on a more intimate level. Dinner was wonderful. Of course, Walter did it. We had shish kebab on the barbecue and things like that. We had a charcuterie, meat on a board, charcuterie. It sounds better if you call it a charcuterie as well. And Walter had made a peach pie with homemade peach ice cream. Actually, his experiments with ice cream are coming along nicely, but he's discovered that making peach ice cream, and he did use fresh peaches in it, and he used little peach schnapps as well in it, but it tasted more like just vanilla. I think peach is one of those flavors you don't often find in the grocery store. At least I've not seen it that often. And I think there's a reason for that. It's just not that peachy. But anyways, it was still good. So it just wasn't that peachy. So that was nice. But we had an uninvited guest. And we talked all about this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live. But at one point, we didn't see him come in, but a bat got into the house. Well, we didn't discover the bat until the next night, Saturday night. Yeah, Walter went into the guest bathroom at about 1:30 in the morning, and the bat was in the garbage can. They seem to love garbage cans, and they don't seem to be able to get out of the garbage cans, out of a small garbage can. I think it's because there's not enough room for them to sort of spread their wings and fly out. So Walter went in, he threw a tea towel over the top of the garbage can and took that outside and let the bat go. They're just little brown bats. But then I was paranoid. The rest of the night I'm sleeping with one eye open. Not that they're going to hurt me. They're more afraid of me than I am of them, we think. But you know, there's something creepy about having something fly around in your bedroom or in your house while you're trying to sleep. Don't like that. And then when we were up looking around the house to make sure that was the only bat we had, because we have had more than one bat at a time in the house. We were looking around and found a little bit of, well, what looked like black rice on the kitchen counter. That's not rice. We don't eat black rice. That was bat poop. Yeah, just a little bit, but there it was. So we cleaned that up. However, Walter had what was left of the peach pie sitting on the counter uncovered. And now someone said on So Chatty, oh, the bat would love that, you know, like fruit. Not little brown bats here in our area. They only eat insects, mostly mosquitoes and that kind of thing. In fact, they're protected because of the good they do. They control the insect population. But just taking a chance that maybe it did light over by the pie and or maybe pooped in the pie. Sounds gross, doesn't it? We threw it out just to be safe. Lesson learned. Do not leave a pie on the counter uncovered. So, and then Walter said yesterday, we have a pie keeper somewhere. Maybe we should be using it. Okay. But anyways, so last night, of course, I was sort of sleeping with one eye open at the beginning, but had done an inspection around every little nook and cranny in the house because, you know, during the day, if they can't get out, they don't fly around during the day. They find a small little space, and they're very tiny. They look big when their wings are out, but when they've got their little selves all, like their wings all clamped up against their body, they're just tiny, and they can get into the smallest little space, and they'll hang up there and sleep during the day. Ask me how I know that. That's a story for another day. But anyways, didn't find any, but any noise in the house, you know, when it's dark, you're thinking, is that a bat? Actually, we should have been suspicious because Saturday evening, before we went to bed, I heard a noise. We were upstairs watching TV. I heard a noise down here. And those shelves that are right behind me over here, those hexagon shelves, a couple of them have dropped off the wall during this heat. They're up there with command strips. And for the most part, they hold them very well. And those shelves are not heavy, and the things on them are absolutely not heavy either. But I've had one or two fall off at times. And I thought, I wonder if some of the shelves fell down. Yeah, 3 of them had fallen down onto the floor. and whatnot. So I picked them up to put them back up on the wall at a later date. And then we got thinking at that point, we didn't know we had a bat in the house. And it was late at night well, it was dark. It wasn't that late. It was probably 11 o'clock at night when we heard this. So I'm wondering if the bat was flying around in this room and he kind of, grazed those shelves or something. He was probably looking for a place to hide, maybe. Or he was looking probably to try and get out. I don't know if that was it or not. It just may have been a coincidence. But so any strange noise, any little noise, little crick, little scratch, little tap, tap, as your house kind of settles, as it contracts and expands because of the heat and the air conditioning, you're always thinking, is that a normal noise or is that a bat? So yeah. But last night there was nobody else in a garbage can, nobody flying around. So I'm hoping that was a one-off, that bat. I have a feeling what happened was we were going in and out, getting food and stuff like that and drinks into the kitchen through the, off our deck. And we are very careful usually about, shutting the screen and, that kind of thing. And for the reason is that's how we figure they get in the house, and they're fast and you won't notice it. They just, they're in. So we figured that's how he got in, and he was probably going after a bug. Probably an insect flew in. Now, here's something. How to get rid of flies in your house. We did have a fly on Saturday that we were unable to corner flying about in the house, but the next day, there was no sign of that fly anywhere. So I'm wondering if with the bat, while he was trying to swoop around, trying to find a way to get out, saw that fly as a little bit of a snack and might as well, right? So yeah, great. No more fly swatters. Just fill your house with a couple of bats so you don't have to worry about flies. Yeah, I don't think they make good pets. No. So yeah, that was fun. The uninvited guests to our dinner party. What else? We had Craft and Chat last Wednesday. It was great as always. Had a few new faces. They're always welcome. And what can I say? We talked about different things. Things were learned. Got talking about flange binding and got a lot of things done. Was working on my Halloween quilt there, getting some of the little pieces together. So yeah, it was a good time. So the next one will be the first Wednesday in September, whatever date that is. So, but I'll let you know. All right, so what's coming up? Well, later today, we are going off to get the monkeypox shot. The vaccination, we qualify for it. We're booked for it. We're getting it. We're being proactive because right now, a lot of people aren't really that concerned about monkeypox. And hopefully we don't have to get too concerned about it, but you never know. The way the general global health community handled COVID sucked. And then it'll suck when they do monkeypox too. Suddenly we're going to hear that, yes, we should all be getting vaccinated for monkeypox, and they don't have any vaccines available. There's a shortage. And then, of course, our government will get involved trying to organize in their infinite way of doing things. How to register to get a shot and all that kind of stuff. They already have that in place, but they'll screw that up too. They don't learn. They do not learn from their past mistakes. They just repeat them over and over again. So we decided we're going to be proactive. We're going to take our own health care into our own hands. And yep, we're going for the monkeypox shot today at noon. We have an appointment for this. So I have heard that there can be a couple of days of reaction to this. So we'll see. But better safe than sorry, and we have the opportunity right now to do it, so we're doing it. On Wednesday this week, I have my block of the month class with Donna, the hostess with the mostest from Ultimate Sewing. The quilt is growing with that. Can't really show it to you yet because it's still just the blocks. But I think it's going to be spectacular when it's done. And to be honest, I'm getting a little tired of block of the month kind of a deal. Now, Donna has another class, though, I'm signing up for, which is not block of the month, and it's an in-person class starting in September at some point. And the in-person classes I used to like, but I don't like taking them at the place I usually take them at because it's just too crowded. There's not enough room in the classroom in there. The store is just too small. And I am a claustrophobic, but even more so, you need space in a class. You can't work in a space this big. And on top of it all, it's also part of the store, and there's fabric and things in there. And so there's regular customers are coming in and tripping all over you trying to look at the fabric. It's just not a good environment conducive to a class. But Donna's doing the class on the one day of the week, Mondays, when the store isn't open. So we don't have to worry so much about that. So yeah, that doesn't start until about middle of September. I think September 19th is the first class. And I'll talk more about it once the class gets started and show you what we're doing. But it's something really kind of cool. So yeah, we'll talk more about that then. And as you know, if you saw So Chatty this week, we're off to London, Ontario, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to do some major fabric shopping. But it's just going to be nice to get out. I hope the weather is decent and the whole bit. We're only going for a couple of nights. We've already got the hotel booked in lovely downtown London, Ontario. And yeah, it'll just be nice to get away. So, you know, because we're not going anywhere else this summer. And on this Saturday coming up, Walter just told me yesterday that the guy who runs his online classes is holding a sew day, physical in-person sew day. He's already got the small hall for it, which he basically doesn't have to pay for, so there's no fee for this. And the people in that Walter sewing class, and there's not many of them, are invited to attend this. So I said to Walter, well, is he opening it up to people who don't take his classes? And Walter said, yeah, he thought so. And I said, well, can I come? And Walter says, probably. So he's going to send an email off to this guy just to make sure it's okay, but I'm pretty sure it is probably okay. And so I'm going to go and work on my quilt, and those people that'll be there, I'll probably be the only one that's a quilter. The rest are all, you know, garment sewers like Walter. So they'll be doing their thing. But it'll just be nice, a different environment. So I'll take my smaller sewing machine, my Skyline S7, and means I'm debating in my mind right now if I should pop into Ultimate Sewing maybe tomorrow and buy a new travel case for my sewing machine, because the one that I have is broken. You can still use it, but it's broken. So they're not cheap. They're about $300, $400 for the kind that they have there, which are really good ones, except mine broke. But that broke because of me, not because of the quality of the machine, or of the case. So maybe I will buy a new one. Got the hiccups again. Why is it every time I do a recording I get the hiccups? Let me have a little drink here. Sorry. So yeah, that's coming up. So I guess it's a busy week, lots of things to do and check out and whatnot. Okay. So I think that brings me to the end of this episode of Bland Designs, of my vlog. And check in tomorrow for the Idiot Quilter. Oh, I'm also doing an interview tomorrow as well, and I may be able to get that up before the end of the day tomorrow as well. And of course, So Chatty near the end of the week, and Stephen Walter live next Sunday. So, yep, lots of entertainment for your viewing pleasure, so to speak. Okay, you have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.